about differences between how men and women fall in love. So I do these YouTube lives every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time, Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And if you guys do find this video content value, you guys can show your appreciation by donating any amount that you feel is equal to the value of this video. Details will be in the description. At the very least, please hit that like, subscribe, share it to your friends, whoever that needs it. But we're going to be carrying on about the topic of today. And I will start out with a recap as usual. And now I'm going to have 4 topics or 4 slides that I'll be discussing about. And if you're watching this on a live, feel free to leave a comment below. I can answer it. And also, I will, if you're watching it on the replay, feel free to leave a comment down below so that, it gives me time to respond. That being said, I'll be going over the recap. And this is something that I discussed about before, differences between men and women. So that's my other topic that I've done before. But now we're focusing a little bit more on the love side, right? And how men and women fall in love differently. So a little bit more specific. So the recap episode is going to be on differences between men and women. Okay? The slide is differences. So women want empathy and men like to offer solutions. So how many times, ladies, have you ever had a guy that's listening to you, that's always trying to give you a solution? And you know what? I do that too. Okay, I do that too. And now that I know, I kind of hold my tongue back a little bit and I try not to solve her problems. What I try to do is I try to listen to her problems and she solves it by herself, which is less work on my end, but also it's more productive because to her, I'm listening. To her, I'm not trying to fix her. I'm not trying to solve her problem. If anything, it's the ladies that want to fix the guy or change him, right? Oh, he has potential, yada, 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 right? And women want empathy. That's what they want, right? And men, we just like to be left alone sometimes. That's what we like. We like to be left alone sometimes, especially when we're upset, we're angry. Just leave us alone. We'll be fine. We come back. But if you keep nagging and nagging and nagging us, what ends up happening is we're gonna leave. And when we leave, you're gonna be upset. You're gonna take that as like, oh, this is a form of rejection. No, it's just that we just want time away from you, right? So this is how we can live in a happy, healthy place. By understanding each other, right? Men should understand women, if assuming that they want to be with them, and women should understand men sometimes. Hey, maybe sometimes after work, he doesn't want to come back home and hear you nag all day. Ask him about his day. He's gonna ask you about your day. Everything's gonna be great. Okay. Now, if you do have something that you want to talk about, share it. But yeah, I'm gonna move on. Now, men complain about women always wanting to change them. Women complain about men not listening, right? That's basically what I was talking about earlier. And men feel valued by the sense of importance by going after what they want, by doing it themselves, okay? So, now, of course, doing it themselves means also he will want someone that supports him too as well, right? Whether it's friends, maybe, it's his lady in his life. He still wants support. Who doesn't want a good supporter in his team, right? The last thing you ever want is someone always going against you, telling you that you won't be able to do it, or it's too difficult. Yeah, don't listen to those type of people, especially if that's something that you want to do. Go for it, okay? Now, by doing it themselves, it defines that he's not only competent, but builds confidence and courage and builds character. And character is way more important because way more important than just, what Jim Rohn said. Character is way more important than charisma. Not that charisma is not important. It's just that charisma requires people. Character requires yourself. So charisma won't help you if you're stranded on an island, if no one's next to you. It requires the presence of another person. With character, it's all you. If anything, character will help you when you're deserted in an island or no one's around you. And that's your character, right? And you'll always be judged by your character. It will eventually reveal. Now, women value love, relationship, commitment, and bonding. Okay, women see men's women see sees men that works too hard as a form of rejection. So I put that in there because let's just say you're a guy, you're hardworking, but then you end up neglecting the one person that you're staying with or you're living with or whatever, right? Your lady, right? Oh, I'm too busy. I'm doing this. I'm doing that, right? And it just it really it's like yelling at a kid. When you yell at a kid because they did something wrong, they see it as I'm bad, I'm not worthy. You're not explaining to the kid that what they did was wrong. You just, they see it as I did something, I'm bad, I'm a bad person now, and this is who I am. And so of course they're gonna grow up and they going to eventually think that, hey, look, I'm not worthy, I'm not good, and they carry it with them for the rest of their life unless something changes, right? So the same thing as women when you neglect them, right? So let's just say you're very busy. What you can say is, hey baby, I love the fact that you called me. I love to talk to you, but right now I'm a little bit busy, but I'll give you a call when I'm not as busy, yeah. At least she will know you're not rejecting her. You're letting her know I'm busy right now. I have my things that I need to do, but I'll come back, right? She feels safe, she feels secure, right? And she's certain. She's certain that, hey, he does care. Okay? And yeah, JR, character and charisma is really important because yeah, character is what you build. It's what sculpts you. So it's sculpting out all the raw materials of who you are, right? And it's just not the physical part, but I'm talking about other areas of your life too, right? It takes time, it takes patience to build character. Charisma, you could learn how to charm a person, right? And that's very powerful. But doing that alone with no character, it's not gonna really get you anywhere. Okay, it gets you somewhere, right? It's attainable, but it's not sustainable. So just remember those few lines. Character is one who's molded you as a person of who you are. Exactly, Shevlin. All right, so women value love. Okay, I got that. Working too hard. Okay, so the differences between men. So the differences is that men have great needs for status and independence. So it's the emphasis is on being separate and different. So that's a major difference. Like I'm separate. Like I'm not like like the other guys. I'm special, right? Or they would like to consider them as not like the rest. Okay. So the emphasis is on separate and different. And woman needs and what women want is intimacy and connection. So the emphasis is going to be a little bit more on what is quote unquote the same, right? Close, being connected. Okay. So I'll describe that a little bit more as I go down to my slides later. But this is it. So this is why it's always better that the men go slightly slower than the woman. The reason why is because if you over pursue as a guy, it's going to cause her to feel unsafe. It's going to make her feel like, oh, it's not my choice. So in other words, she's going to feel like she's being sold and not something that she wants to buy, if that makes sense, right? So it has to be her choice. By going slightly slower than her, you're gauging her level of interest, and that allows the guy to approach it a little bit better, a little bit more calculated, so that you're not over pursuing, right? You don't want to scare her away. So it shows a little bit of self-control, and most men don't have a lot of self-control. Partly because us as men, normally and typically, we like to go after what we want. We want it quicker. We want it faster. What's the fastest way from point A to point B, right? You ever notice when ladies talk, they could go around in circles and they just keep talking and talking for hours on end? Not that that's a bad thing, but they could just keep talking and out of nowhere, just, oh my God, I just feel so much better, right? Let them have that. Let them have that, right? So, shows when you do that and you have emotional self-control, it shows that you're not as needy, and lack of neediness usually displays higher value. Okay, social intelligence, right? Emotional EQ, is it? Emotional EQ. So that being said, I'm going to be going over my first slide, which is the men's view. Okay, so what's the men's view, right? Men can fall in love with a woman within the first few dates. I don't know why. I think it's because with visuals, we just look at a lady and be like, oh my god, she's hot, she's gorgeous, I just want her, right? For different reasons, and some people, they hide it a little bit differently, right? But men tend to fall in love quicker, okay? And because men are usually more visual, he's easily blinded by her beauty, okay? And over and so what I'm talking about, like, is she's hot, oh, she's sexy, the sex is great, whatever it is. This is how men fall in love quicker, because with visuals, you're not really dissecting like who she really is as a person. You're looking at a very subject, like the shallow side of her. She's just pretty by just looking at her. Now, the more important thing is to understand, like, is she a good candidate for me? Now, if this is something you just want to hook up and whatever, sure, fine, by all means do that. But if you want someone that's going to be in a relationship, something more long term, you don't want to overlook that, right? Because no amount of beauty will make you want to stay with her unless you're insecure, you really don't believe that you could find another person like that, or there's a lot of insecurities on your end, right? And so that's usually where most people fall into, and they usually end up settling with that. And settling could be interpreted in many ways, right? But I see it as, if you're settling, means that, look, maybe you're that person's punching bag. Okay, you're that person's punching bag, and you keep dealing with it. I personally won't. I don't care how pretty she is. I have to feel good around her, right? Also, I gotta be attracted to her, but I don't want to be her punching bag. If you're gonna talk to me like that, I'm gonna walk away. All right. So, men usually says I love you first, right? Trying to locking her down, right? And it's because we're usually a little bit more impatient, okay? But once you learn about patience, it separates you from the rest of the competition, right? So reasons for this is because men, reasons for this may be because women are generally allowed more dating choices, right? But be patient, like baking a cake. You're not gonna keep peeking into the oven every single time. It's like, oh, is the cake done yet? Is the cake done yet? No, just let it bake. Give it some time. Trust the process. Okay? Be a little patient. Now, this may cause him to feel like he needs to let her know how he feels, right? Which is very feminine energy. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my God, I love you so much. No, let her do that. Let her come to you and tell her that, and tell you that, right? Your job is to create an opportunity for sex to happen. And that's direct line from Coach Corey Wayne. So check him out if you haven't. He's on YouTube. He's on many platforms as well, but check him out. And just like baking the cake. So by telling her how he feels, it loses the attraction and it takes away the mystery, right? You don't really give her anything, or she knows everything. There's nothing to really think about. Oh, he loves me, he cares about me. I know there's no mystery, and people are attracted to mystery. They want to know that the person that they're with, it's like, allow her to think about you on her own time. And if she isn't, don't take it personal. She might be busy, and it's okay. Right? Now, men should understand that you could always judge his lady by her actions, right? You could bottom line someone's actions. Not just her, but anybody's. You could bottom line someone's actions, right? Now, what I mean by that is, what she told you does not really carry over, right? If she told you she loved you, if she told you I missed you so much, if she told you all these things yesterday, a week ago, 3 hours ago, whatever, it only means at that moment, okay? You could easily say something and she could back away. She wouldn't want to be around you, right? It's super easy. So it's a feeling, right? It's how she feels, right? And feelings come from thought, okay? And thought creates behaviors, okay? So now, and I'm sorry, thoughts, feelings, behaviors. That's what I'm talking about. Cheeky Julie, I see you. Anyways, you could judge her by her actions, right? And what she told you before stands for the moment. Her actions are what she feels for you currently, okay? But don't take it personal. Be back on your thing. Be back on your grind. Meaning focus and obsess over yourself, because it's very important to go after the things that you want to do for yourself as a guy. This is the men's view, and I'll talk about the ladies right after this. All right? Many ladies in here. Hello. But don't take it personal. I feel like guys take things too personal sometimes, right? Letting the ego get in the way. Oh my God, how come she didn't call me back? And then it comes to a point of manipulation where it shouldn't ever have to be from a place of manipulation. It should be because it comes out naturally. It's like, look, if I'm busy, I can't talk to you, but I will talk to you once I'm free. Let them know that. Communicate that so that she doesn't feel like she's being rejected. I'm a little busy right now, baby. Kiki, I'm a little busy right now, but I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay? But in the meantime, have a lovely day. All right, so don't take it personal. Be back on your mission and purpose. Obsess over yourself. She'll be back. And over pursuing and over complicating things like, oh, I gotta do something because she's not talking to me, she's not communicating, will only waste your time and drive her away. All right, guys? Will only do that. You're wasting your time, you drive her away. Those are two negatives that does not make positive, okay? You don't get anything good by over pursuing and wasting your time. Only because to satisfy your own little desires, this need that you have, like, oh, I'm impatient. Yeah, that's something that you got to work on yourself. Something to think about. All right, let's see. So she wants to know that you're a provider and that you're reliable. So that's basically it, right? Can you provide? And are you reliable? Because as ladies, you guys, no, you ladies, you girls, have a lot to lose biologically, right? You got to bear child. What happens if the guy goes away? What happens? You're not just gonna leave the kid, right? So somebody has to take the kids, and it's usually the woman. Usually. So when you don't take it personal, you allow yourself to see her for what it is, what she's doing, her actions, right? If she feels close to you, she will talk to you. And if she doesn't, she's going to do her thing. She will make up things. Oh, I've been doing this and doing that. Well, it just means that she doesn't have a whole lot of, interest on your part. So you could judge her by her actions. Okay? Judging her by, oh, she really want to be, she doesn't really want to be around me right now, whether it's dating or this is a relationship. You just focus on yourself, obsess over yourself. But it doesn't mean neglect them. Don't ignore them. Don't ever ignore your lady, because if you do, some other man will replace you. Okay? So you gotta know that. Now, woman's side. She needs more time to fall in love. And it usually takes about, I'm assuming y'all just started dating, day one. It takes about 7 to 8 weeks if everything is done correctly. Okay? She needs more time to fall in love. Okay? 7 to 8 weeks. Most men can't wait 7 to 8 hours. Okay? You gotta wait. And so that's why most men fall in love quicker, is because, oh, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, she got a hot body. If I don't lock her down, some other man will. I gotta be careful. But let's just say you're a guy with abundance and you know your value. You're not going to over pursue. You're not gonna chase. You're gonna do your own thing. And naturally, by side effect, everything will come to you. And that's the great thing about it, is because you could work on yourself. And the side effect is everything will come to you, versus always trying to over pursue, over chase, chasing them away, right? What happens when you chase a chicken? It keeps running, right? But what happens if you have, what you call it, chicken food? Just sprinkle it. Look, I got some goodies. You want some? You got there you go. You just let it let it out. And they come, start pecking. Right, that was probably a really bad example, but it was funny. All right, so she needs more time to fall in love, mentally, physically, and spiritually, right? Woman, now this is the difference between women. Women deal with rejection better than men, okay? I got the goodies. All right, Women deal with rejection better than men, and it's usually because they're more intuitive with their own feelings. They know how they feel. They learn how to express it better. With guys, they're kind of like, no, I shouldn't talk about my feelings because talking about my feelings means that I'm weak, right? I mean, or I'm being vulnerable, and vulnerable is like the gateway, right? It's like unlocking that gate and be like, and having someone walk in and be like, look, I'm gonna destroy you because I can see that you're weak, right? But vulnerability and being weak is two different things. Being weak, how I personally see it, is you just accepted the fact that you're weak. Okay, unless you do something about it. Being vulnerable is at least there's that gate. There's that gate to protect you. Look, I'm vulnerable right now, but I'm not just gonna allow anybody to deal with this, right? Or just to come in and cause a disturbance. I'm gonna make sure that, hey, look, I'm gonna be vulnerable, but I'm allowing this vulnerability to see my flaws so that I can become better, so that I won't ever have to be in that vulnerable spot, or at least in the same situation again, right? So now, women deal with rejection better, and also because, yeah, they have a little bit more distractions, right? Whether it's what they have to do or just more dating options, more guys, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that she want every guy that comes after her. And if she does, is that really the girl that you really want? And if you want her, is it because you just like, oh my god, she's so pretty, and you're overlooking the red flags, like she's willing to date every single guy out there just to try to find that one dude, right? No, right? Have a little, understand yourself a little bit. Hold yourself back. Emotional resilience. Look, see her for how she is. If she belongs in the streets, she belongs in the streets. Okay. Men focuses so she needs more time. So men focus more on the love in the beginning, right? So in the beginning of the dating and the courtship, men focuses on the love, like, oh, I love her, right? He loves quicker. But as the relationship matures a little bit, she it's the lady, it's on the woman's side where they tend to focus more of the love in the relationship more than the guy. And when that does happen, it's a good thing, right? Let her. That's more of her natural essence. That's what she feels. She wants to feel you as the guy, mentally, physically, spiritually, right? But this is one thing. When she does focus on that, allow her. That's right, Bree. You tell her. Uh, men. So when she does that, make sure that men don't get complacent, because it's very easy when she's giving you all this love. She's giving you all this. When she loves you, she wants all your attention, and that's when most men get complacent and they get too comfortable. They get too comfortable and they're like, oh, she loves me already. So he feels like entitled to her type of behaviors, right? Like, oh, she loves me. I don't really need to do anything because she loves me very much. Look at how much she loves me. And yeah, and then you're like, sex is on the table, right? I could have sex anytime I want. Like, no, make sure you nourish that, because when she loves you, she will always want to be around you. If she doesn't, you can judge her by her actions. Men always feeling. Okay, I see you, Julie. All right, let's see. Um, because men sometimes forget to give attention to the significant others. Yeah, and that's why it's like when men focuses too much on what they have to do, like whether it's job or their purpose, which is great, it's important. Don't neglect your lady. That's what I'm saying. Don't neglect her. Don't never ignore her, but it's yeah, just don't overcomplicate things, okay? So, women like to be gently led, slowly. And as the guy goes slightly slower than her, but still takes the lead, that's great, right? Cheeky Julie, I'm glad you said that. What was the most needy type of guy you've ever met? Who's the most needy, clingy, right? And what does that display? This is not just for Julie, but ladies, what do you feel? Tell me how you feel when guys are clingy, needy, they're blowing up your phone through text, they're calling you, they're over pursuing, right? What happens? Julie, I could guarantee you I'm not clingy. Um, but anyways, I'm gonna move on. Ladies, if you're watching this, let me know. Let me know. Let's see. So women like to be gently led slowly, especially in the beginning of the courtship. The idea needs to be hers in order for you to proceed any further. Okay, it has to be her idea, right? You take the lead. That's great. As a guy, take the lead, but at the same time, like create opportunities for sex to happen, right? Hey, we should go on this dates. Let's do this. Let's do that. If you're kissing, and she's like, and you touching her, and you know that. Okay, I don't talk about this a lot, but usually, guys, come on. When you're kissing and you're touching each other, don't just go straight down there. Come on, man. Don't caress her. Make her want you too, right? It's not just all you want, because if you just go straight down there, she already knows what you want. The last thing she wants to know is that I don't want to feel like a slut. She don't want to feel like that. But if you touch her, you caress her, you make her feel wanted, she's going to want you, right? Now, if there's some resistance, just hold back. It's all good. Let her be. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Okay? And don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Just do your thing. Let's see. I got clingy when I got a bit. All right, JR. All right. Now, so it has to be her idea to proceed any further. Only thing you can do is judge her by her indicators of interest, right? When she likes you, she's going to put herself into your orbit. Okay? That's what ladies do. They put themselves into your orbit. They will stand, like, I've seen this before. Say you're at a club, you're at a bar, or at anywhere. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you consistently see her around you, whether her back's being turned on you or her side, or you're within distance and she has a visual of you, if that makes any sense, she's showing you that she has interest. She's showing you she has interest. Use that as an indicator. Now, does that mean she absolutely likes you? Hell no. But it's a good indicator. But all these indicators that adds up, yeah, those are good signs. And then you could proceed further with that. So indicators of interest, also known as IOIs. Julie, goodbye. Clingy to me is like Commander Wolf. All right. Men who are big-headed too. Who are big-headed men's that you know? All right. If her man, okay, so now let's talk about the woman again. If her man could open her up by allowing her to come and go as she pleases, she will be coming to you on her own free will. Women don't dump men they're in love with. They only dump men that they lose interest in. That's it. So if you ever encounter resistance, pull back. Over pursuing will not work. Just hold back. It's okay. Right? Think with this head, not with the other one. Right? So if you ever encounter resistance, pull back. This also explains why women don't care as much about guys' appearances, right? Ladies don't care about how a guy looks as much as how a guy looks at a girl. Now, I'm not saying that it's not important at all. She has to find you attractive. So yeah, that's important. So ladies, you all have your fantasy man in your head, right? That you over fantasize sometimes. You know, to some individuals in here, it might be Koreans, right? Some sort of Asian, right? Whoever you like, visual. You know nothing about them, but you wouldn't stay with them if you didn't like them. Maybe for a little bit, you're like, this is fun, right? But now, attraction works differently between men and women. I'm talking about these two specific genders, okay? So although looks do matter to women, it matters more to men. And women fall in love with a guy that she feels close to. A guy who understands her, right? Knows how to open her up. And when he does, she will give the world to him. But it's only if you understand women. And we all communicate differently, right? If you tell her no, she's going to see it as a rejection. Okay? So you have to let her come to you. Now, with men, it pays to have a lot of patience. It separates you from the competition. Okay? Because men, quote unquote, at times are more likely to feel like his love isn't being reciprocated, right? So, say for example, and it's kind of unfair if you think about it, but this is how kind of how it works. Say for example, a guy, he's the provider of the house. He puts food on the table, he puts a roof over her head. Let's just say he does all that and she's a stay-at-home mom, right? But he fails to provide his what you will call like his ear for her, right? He doesn't listen to her, doesn't understand her. Every time he comes back home, he's like, I'm too busy. I can't, I gotta do this. I gotta do this because we have a family. And that, yeah, I get that, but you still gotta give a little bit to her, right? She needs to feel her man. If she doesn't, she's gonna feel distance. And so when she feel distance, she's gonna create that gap between, right? And then now when guys feel that, they're gonna try to close that gap by over pursuing, which pushes her away even more. So why don't you just start listening to her, even if it takes a little bit of your time to nourish that relationship? And I think that's way better than seeing it all collapse and then trying to rebuild it back up when it's not salvageable, right? So men are more likely to feel like his love or his efforts is not appreciated. Okay. And maybe it's due to the lack of intimacy too as well, right? And this is assuming that she's a happy, healthy, normal lady, right? Men take the lead, and she might be creating more distance. Okay, distance may cause him to feel like what he did doesn't count. The funny thing is, it usually doesn't, right? So what she says and how she feels about you, oh my god, I miss you so much, I just want to be around you all the time. Okay, don't take that literally. She just meant that at that moment. Okay, I just want to be with you all the time, quote unquote. In men's term, I want you right now. I just want to be around you. I don't care, right? I don't care. I just want to be around you. Don't take it literally, guys. Okay, she's communicating that I just want to be with you now, all the time. Yeah. So because I heard this before. It's She told me she wants this. She told me she wants me all the time. I'm like, no, no, she doesn't. You're smothering her. Okay? Now, I'm moving on. So, the funny thing is, it doesn't carry over, right? And feelings aren't fair. Feelings aren't fair. It's just kind of how it works. Now, this doesn't mean now this usually so when things aren't fair, you try to play it into your favor, right? But I feel like there's always a place of it feeling a little bit more natural where you're not trying to game her or manipulate her, because I feel like when things don't go your way, you have to manipulate something to get it your way. And this is where there's like the downfall of a relationship where you feel like, oh, she's not talking to me. Well, I'm going to do this, right? It's like, well, if she's busy, I'm going to be doing my thing, right? And I'll focus and then allow her to come to me versus, oh, I don't have anything going on for myself and she's not talking to me because I tried to contact her, and so now I'm not going to talk to her for 72 hours, right? Like that's not going to work, right? She's going to see right through it eventually, right? Because you're not really focusing on the things that you need to do. You're too focused on her, right? And once she senses that, it's going to cause her to pull away even more, right? So they're like, so that's why I hear guys, they're like, oh, it doesn't work. I was like, because you're too structured. You think about this whole approach the wrong way. I was like, what did you have? Like, ignore your girl, okay? Let's just say you're single. What do you do for yourself? They're like, well, I don't really do a lot. So I was like, okay, then maybe that's a good place to start. Start from there. Do what you like. At least from there you have something to move towards. Something that you wake up and you look forward to, right? Whether it's the gym or maybe it being great at what you do as a job. Maybe you're an accountant and you crunch numbers. And that's all you want to do, and that's what you love doing. You love playing with numbers. Great, keep doing that. You don't have to be the most entertaining person. Doesn't mean boring neither, right? But like, hey, focus on what you like doing, and the rest will come. And the rest will come. Okay? But that's what I'm talking about. Like this form of manipulation versus like you actually having something to do there's a big difference in approach. Okay. So manipulation only shows this, right? So when she senses that type of manipulation, it shows, and she senses this. She's like, he's trying to control me, right? This person, who is this type of person? He kind of lacks character, and he's insecure. He has some sort of attachment issues. It's like, I don't want to be with a guy like that. That's low value. And ladies date up. Men could date down. A guy could walk into like a McDonald's and be like, damn, she's fine. I'm gonna wife her up, make her my queen, right? The lady, on the other hand, she won't be like, oh my god. She might find him attractive, and maybe that could spark something. But she's not gonna be like, oh my god, he works at McDonald's. He's so hot. I just wanna, right? He's not. More than likely, that's not gonna happen. Does it happen? Probably. But more than likely, no. More than likely, no. So, anyways, control, lack of character, and attachment issues, right? That shows or it conveys low value, right? And ladies just want to date up. Never be around someone who doesn't want to reciprocate the same feeling and enthusiasm. Okay, so, and this goes for both parties. Never be around that person, because one, you're wasting your time. Do you want to be in a relationship where you consistently always trying to make that person happy? Like, oh, I have to buy her this flower, or she likes this type of bag, or I gotta get her this type of food because it will make her happy, versus I want to do this, I know it will make her happy, and I'm in a happy, healthy relationship with this lady right now, or the other way around, right? Where it doesn't come from a place of weakness because I need to make that person happy, versus I like doing this, I like giving. Why? Because that person gives to me too, and I appreciate that. You see the difference? It's differences in approach. I still go back. Place of strength, place of weakness. Where do you operate from? Okay? And the truth is, in reality, not a lot of people is going to like you, right? Going back to the story about the whole bus situation, some of you guys know about that. I literally was walking down to bus stops, looking back, just taking a peek, like, oh, is that bus coming? And it turned out it never happened. But as I was going down there, I was asking people, very non-threatening. I was like, hey, like, how long have you guys been waiting for the bus? I don't know what's going on. Maybe people are a little bit not as sociable, but most people are miserable. And when I was talking to them, either A, they're like, who is this guy? Why is he so like happy for the fact that the bus isn't coming? And I was trying to let them know. I'm like, hey guys, like, I waited for this long, but it never did. So I'm just curious about on your end. And one, they either ignored, or two, they pretend like I was this crazy person, but I was like, okay. Or maybe they're just not socially, they're not very social. So it doesn't matter. But it kind of made me recalibrate some things in my mind. I was like, what causes people to be so miserable? What causes them, right? So sometimes, I have a lot of questions for myself too as well. But anyways, let's move on to the last topic, last slide, which is love isn't fair, but it's what we want. Right? With women, they just want to present themselves nicely, right? And for men to be attracted to them. And so that's usually in the beginning too. Same thing for men, right? You don't have to have the highest fashion, the nicest shoes, clothes, or whatever. It doesn't, cars. You don't have to have a lot of money. You just have to have something going on for yourself, right? But the differences between men and women in this sense is that men, we fall in love with our eyes a little bit quicker. Women, they fall in love with their ears. So it's what you say to them. Like, can you articulate words, right? So yeah, it isn't fair, because why is it that the guy have to do so much more, right? We have to do so much more. But it makes you better as a person. It makes you better as a person anyways. It's like, look, it's okay that, well, one, it's easier to give up, but it makes you better as a person by consistently working on yourself. Hey, maybe I'm not so great here, and that's okay, but let me work towards that, right? And for ladies, it's like, yeah, having a nice figure for men, yeah, it does help, but it's not just, don't just do it for men, but have it for yourself. Have it for yourself, right? Who doesn't like to feel a little bit confident walking out in that dress that you used to fit in, that you don't fit in anymore, but you can still work towards that, right? All right, let's see what JR said. Don't lose your enthusiasm, man. Knowing you have this encouragingly recharging. Yeah. Well, that didn't discourage me or anything, but I was like, huh, why are people? Maybe it's because I haven't really been out that much, but it's okay. I was like, hey, maybe they're having a bad day, and it's okay, right? They don't know me. I'm not taking it personal. I was just like, it makes me wonder. It made me recalibrate some things. Hey, maybe it was me. Maybe it was certain things that I've said. Maybe it was my tone, right? Mitchell might need a little bit of recalibration. It's okay. Let's see. So, men don't mind dating down, like I said earlier, but women usually only date up. She needs to know that your character is attractive, both inner and outer, right? So, like I said, you don't have to have the nicest things and all that, but you want to be well groomed. You want to know how to articulate words. Your social IQ, because she's dealt with so many guys. That's weird. Her whole life. She doesn't need another one in her life, okay? And she could detect that. I think since the age of like 14, 15, 16, constant little boys to grown ass men always bombarding her, right? She don't need another one of those. Now, the guy, so this is it. It's not fair, but it's how it works, and it's what we want, right? But the guy has to kind of like have his life a little bit more situated. He doesn't have to have everything, situated in the mind, right? Financially too as well, right? Or at the minimal, mentally and emotionally there. Has a thing or two going on for himself. He needs to have social awareness, right? Needs to be able to detect unspoken languages. It's kind of like, okay, I could be upset at women and be like, you know what? Every single time I try to tell her something, she says I'm not listening, and it's easier to just not do anything. But then, or you could be like, hey, when I say that and she says I'm not listening, why does she say that? It's not that I'm not listening. I'm trying to help her, but maybe helping her isn't really helping her. It's what you want. It's not what they want, right? So what I'm saying is, if you put yourself in their shoes and you're trying to understand the other person and what they want and their needs, it's going to be way more valuable to them than it is to you, right? Just like, and I see this all the time too, and because I used to work as a personal trainer. I'm actually thinking about going back. Anyways, I've seen people that come in and they sit down, and I see trainers tell the other person what they want. I'm like, well, they coming in to put on more muscle. You're telling them to get a six-pack, and I could get you that because that's what everybody else wants. No, that's what you want, right? Listen to what they want. Get them to what they really want, and that'll be great because it's what they want. They're already telling you, right? Anyways, side topic. Now moving on. Detecting social awareness, right? The guy has to do a lot of that, and the more you have, the better you are off, right? And love isn't fair, but it's what we want. Men complain about women being a certain way and are upset because they're giving up too easily, and that's don't give up. If you want more things in your life and you want better things in your life, pursue it. The same applies to women. Men are visual creatures. This isn't being shallow. This isn't being shallow. This is just how attraction works. If you're not the type that the guy wants, don't be upset at it. Work towards it too, right? It's easily being said, like, it's so easy to be misconstrued, like, oh, he only likes me because I have a nice whatever, right? Like, no, that's what he's attracted to, but what makes him stay is your personality, right? That's what maintains, that's what sustains the relationship. Attaining somebody is usually the easier and the more fun part, right? Now, understanding this, like I said, will put you ahead of the competition, right? All is fair in love and war, right? And what I mean by that is, hey, look, no harm, no foul. You do your part, I do my part. If she chooses me, yeah, become the best option. That's what it is. Doesn't mean you got to be aggressive about it. She just chose me. I don't know why she chose me. What kind though? I don't know why she didn't choose you. Maybe she liked me a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know. Why? Because I've been doing this, I've been doing that, right? That's great. That's great. Now, what I also want to say about that is, when I say all is fair in love and war, it doesn't mean you're going in and being a homewrecker. I never suggest that. All right. If she's taken, leave her alone. Okay, just leave her alone. Don't be that type of guy that be like, oh, I want her because she's hot. She's in a relationship. Let's just say you went up to her, you talked to her, you didn't know that she was in a relationship, and then somewhere down the line, you guys caught feelings, and then you found out that she's in a relationship. Just be like, hey, you know what? That's not. I didn't know that. I do like you, but at the same time, it's like, you got something else. I feel like you got something else that you need to handle on your own. And that said, I want you to at least get that situated, and then just pull back, because then it will really, it will determine whether or not she wants to be with him or she wants to be with you, right? And she has to make a choice on her own. And you're not going in there trying to like break up that relationship because of what you want, but it's allowing her to make a decision. Do I want to stay in this relationship and make it work, or is it not salvageable and I'll rather much be happier with another person that's not coming in trying to destroy shit, right? Because here's the thing too, if you go in and you destroy a relationship and she's going to leave with you, chances are when things don't go as well in your relationship, well, guess what? It's going to happen the exact same way, right? History kind of repeats itself a little bit, and so you want to be able to detect those type of things too as well. So, like I said, all is fair in love and war, but be careful. Do not be a homewrecker, okay? And the last few things are, men needs to know that women needs time and patience, okay? And it pays to have patience, especially with men. Acting needy and impatient because you're not getting what you want is like a boy crying over not getting his ice cream or his candy, right? Or his dessert, right? Getting upset, kicking sand, right? And like I said, she dealt with enough men like this, obsessive, stalkerish type of guy, men her whole life. She just needs to know that you're not going to be one of those guys. And over here in this channel, you're going to become a better person, better guy, learning how to approach, learning how to understand how women think, and by becoming a little bit more patient and understanding her, she is going to be her choice. And that said, guys, I know today's show is going to be not a full hour. I'll give you guys another 2 minutes, but that is all that I have for the show. I hope this helps on the differences between how men and women fall in love, right? And to summarize that is, men fall in love with the eyes and women fall in love with their ears. What maintains that is who you are as a person, your character. And character reveals who you are, and that's your destiny. Character is destiny. Charming someone, right? It's attainable, but is it sustainable if you don't have character to back that up? So yeah, that's the quick summary that I could give you guys. Continue working harder on yourself. Continue becoming better every day. Have something that you want to wake up to and look forward to. That will always be a life worth living. You know what I mean? At least that is to me. So I hope you guys do appreciate like this. And if you guys do, please hit the like, subscribe, share it, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got for today. We got another minute. Dumb men when I can't be ass. That's such a UK term. Can't be asked. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? I'm gonna take this off. If you guys don't, I'm gonna get ready for this lovely barbecue that I'm gonna be going over. So yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it is time. Until next time, I see you guys in the next episode. Working. Okay, Jr. You said working towards attraction. Staying for the personality is what I learned. Good. Thanks, man. And Jr. Love what you're doing. I can't wait to start seeing some of your work. Got everybody in here that's watching, being a lookout for Mr. Dominador. You know, he has a few things up his not up his sleeve, but you know, he's doing some stuff. So yeah, check him out whenever it's ready. He will let us know. Until next time, stay safe out there. Happy 4th. Have fun. And yeah, stay and sober. Yeah, of course. Never drink and drive. All right, peace. Talk to you guys next time.